Goeiedag, hoe hangt dit? My name is Wildkard. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here and watching my content. As always, it is my pleasure and privilege to talk about the greatest game in the world, rugby. The Rugby World Cup is a war of attrition. The Rugby World Cup is one of the most brutal tournaments in the world, and the attrition rates is rocketing up for every team. And yes, the defending world champions news just came out that Marx, the premier hooker, probably the best hooker in the world right now, has been ruled out of the Rugby World Cup for the remainder of the tournament. He has suffered a knee injury in a contact session, and it's gonna be not gonna be looking good for him for a long time. And such a shame. This is one of the he's one of the most important players in the Springboks team. His line-out, his set piece, his scrummaging are all exceptional, and his work rate around the park at the breakdowns is also second to none. And yeah, massive loss to the Springboks. Now, the Springboks do have 3 hookers already available in the team. So, sorry, they already have 2 extra hookers available in the team with obviously Bongi Bunabi and Dion Fourie as a third hooker option. They only have 2 official hookers in the squad, with Dion Fourie marked as a utility player, with obviously his key roles these days is playing as a flanker. So Dion Fourie can definitely fill in as a hooker. The team has been announced that Dion Fourie will be playing as a hooker coming off the bench this weekend, and it is one of those really unfortunate things, to get your knee caught in training in a contact session. Begs to, sometimes are these contact sessions really necessary in the middle of the Rugby World Cup? I'm not a professional coach, but obviously, sometimes you kind of start wondering if that's maybe it's going a bit too hard during the tournament for some of the teams. So yeah, with that being said, the Springboks management has confirmed that they're not going to be immediately calling up anybody to replace him. So obviously the number one person for the hooker position to be called up will be Joseph Dweeba. And we know that his line-out throws has improved, but not quite to the same World Cup world class standards that a Springboks is looking for. Dion Fourie is already a better line-out operator than Dweeba, so I don't see that even if they call up Dweeba as a third option, I don't foresee that Dweeba will be starting ahead of Dion Fourie in the line-out position, in the hooker position to take over any throws. Also with Dion Fourie on the field, it's very likely they're just gonna play Bungimun Bonabi for the entire 80 minutes. Maybe even like 70 minutes, and have Dion Fourie come on as a flanker. And then if Bunabi gets hurt or Bunabi can't take it anymore, and then they will put Dion Fourie at hooker and take Bunabi off So in fact, I think that's what the Springboks will do this weekend. They have a 5-3 setup on the bench, and they've done this in the past where Dion Fourie is put at the hooker position, and then they will put they had the starting hooker playing the full 80 minutes and have Dion Fourie coming on as additional flanker, as they like to do with the bomb squad. So this is something that the Springboks definitely have already practiced in the past. So it's just the question just comes down to, I'm pretty sure last time this happened, it was Marx that played 80 minutes. It's just the question of whether or not Bungin Bonabi can play 80 minutes with his, with the heat and everything in France. Is that going to be an issue for him? If that's going to be an issue, they will probably take him off and have Dion Fourie move to hooker position. But I'm sure Dion Fourie will be on the field before Bungi Bonabi comes off. So Bungi Bonabi will be... I'm very confident. I'm like 99% confident that Dion Fourie will be on the field as a flanker first and then move to hooker. I'm very confident that's what the Springboks are going to do this weekend, just to give that extra bit of impact for the extra flanker that they always like to play, the bomb squad setting anyway. Even though it's only 5 forwards, they would like to have Dion Fourie as that additional loose forward for that impact that he's going to bring off the bench. Especially like when he's fresh, they're just going to have him go as hard as he can, and then maybe have him substituted into the hooker position. So yeah, let's have a look at the lineup for Romania this weekend. Romania, obviously the weakest team in the pool. Ireland convincingly beat them. With this, the objective of this game for the Springboks is obviously to get as many points as they can. Definitely securing the bonus point and try to make as much point differential as they can to stay ahead of Ireland. Ireland scored 12 tries against Romania, so that's going to be a big task for the Springboks. and we'll have to see if they can achieve that. So yeah, let's go through the teams. One interesting selection by the Springboks this weekend is that they have opted for all four, all four of their what do you call it? All four of their halfbacks. All four halfbacks are selected to play this game. There were a lot of people wondering why the Springboks selected 4 halfbacks to begin with for a tournament. Now this is the opportunity to show the selection logic, to show the diversity. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about some of the halfbacks like Grant Williams and Kobus Reiner also being extremely quick players themselves, could fill in as wingers. So we will be probably seeing some of that this weekend. We'll definitely be seeing that this weekend from Grant Williams. But yeah, we'll be seeing how they juggle these players around and how they're going to go. So yeah, let's go through the lineup and see who's in, who's out for this matchup against Romania on Sunday. And coming in at the number 1 position, we'll start with the Lucia proposition, Onks Uncha. Again, one of the best scrummagers in the world right now. I think the impact that it comes off the bench is just so devastating, so powerful. It's when him and when he comes off the bench with Trevor and Yankani, it's almost guaranteed a penalty in the first scrum. It's just unbelievable how good these guys are in the scrummaging. Coming in next to him as Bungi Bunabi, he will be filling as the captain with obviously what's his name? Sia Khaleesi taking a break for this match. So Bungi Bunabi will be coming in at number 2 position as the captain as well. Vincent Koch finally gets his first run this season. I think he's been out for quite a few games now. Just not to selection, not favored by the selection. He's one of the premier players coming off the bench as the finisher. But he gets the start this week in the number 3 jersey. I'm sure he'll be relishing this opportunity for the Springboks. John Klein gets caught in at number 4 position for the Springboks, with obviously Eben Etzebeth having a bit of an injury right now with a sore shoulder. We haven't got further confirmation on what the shoulder is yet. The Rassi Rasmus said it's going to be like a 10-day injury. But yeah, John Klein has been very, very good for the Springboks, and I have no issue with him filling in for Eben Etzebeth at number 4 jersey. And number 5, Marvin Ori returns to the fold for the Springboks. Number 6, Marco van Staden returns that 6 jersey, showing a bit more, give another opportunity off the bench. Huaga Smith gets the blindside flanker position, number 7 jersey. He came off the bench on the number 24 jersey to score a try against the All Blacks, replacing Villaroo before the match as the 7th forward on the bench. Showed a lot of that diversity, showed a lot of that speed that he injects that we all know that the former Sevens player can bring to the team for the Springboks. Gets another chance at the blindside flanker. Dwayne, the Rock Vermeulen, comes in number 8 jersey for the Springboks. And he has been, exceptionally well for the Springboks these days, especially come off the bench to bring that experience, the power that we know that he can bring for the Springboks team. But he will be starting this weekend in that more familiar number 8 jersey. Number 9, Kobus Reiner. He was in that match against the All Blacks. He was the only back on the bench, with obviously Villaroo put out late from a bit of an eagle during training, which led to Huaga Smith being put into the fold as a 7th forward on that day against the All Blacks. And Kobus Reiner came on the field that day as a winger. So yeah, apparently his father was one of the record holders in sprints, in 400-meter sprints or something. So he's one, very fast player himself, and he gets a 9 jersey this week, and yeah, which is we've already seen what's the sort of versatility that he can bring for the team. Number 10, Damien Willemse. Interestingly, he gets another shot at the number 10 jersey. I mean, he is the reserve 10, and the speculation currently is that obviously the Malcolm Marx has not been replaced yet. There has been some talks that Malcolm Marx will be replaced by someone that's not a number 2. So obviously they will try out a few games, this game to see how Dion Fourie and Bungi Bunabi can fare as just the 2 hookers. And then if that works and they don't need to bring in another hooker, bring in Joseph Duba, they're probably going to bring Andre Pollard, to be honest. Very likely they're going to bring Andre Pollard for that number 10 jersey, especially if man in the box goal kicking doesn't get to that world-class level that they're looking for. Obviously, this weekend will be, Damien Willemse playing at 10. It's probably going to be, who's going to be the kicker? It's probably going to be, Let's go through the team first. But yeah, Damian Willemse comes in number 10. Last week, when a man in the block gets substituted off and Vili Leroux came onto the field, Damian Willemse moved to 10. And I thought, that's pretty much how the Springboks like to play anyway, having Damian Willemse at 10 to cover every position, just give him as much game time as possible. Number 11, Makazulu Mapimpi gets another shot in that flanker, in that winger position. He has been out of favor quite a bit by the Springboks. He's very good under the high ball, very good out on the wing, but the dynamics that Cheslin Kobe and Cody Adams brings at this moment is just way too much for the Springboks to put those two guys not starting. So Makazulu Mapimpi will get that number 11 jersey this weekend. Andrew Esterhuizen is someone that I think should be starting for number 12 for the Springboks. He gets another opportunity to shine this weekend. Every time he played for the Springboks had a dominant performance. He's able to get over the advantage line every time he carries the ball, unlike Damien Dialenda, who's struggling a little bit, despite like the number of times he carried the ball on the weekend. He still failed to get over the advantage line. It's just, really not. Esterhuizen definitely edges ahead of Dialenda in that regard. And also, Esterhuizen is a much better ball distributor than Dialenda. Dialenda tends to just run into the ball and he hardly ever passes. I've noticed that as well. And so Esterhuizen, I'm really looking forward to see him just becoming the permanent star and get selected for the Springboks against Ireland. I really want to see that. Number 13, Kanan Moody. This is the back center combination that destroyed the All Blacks, believe it or not, a few weeks ago. And Kanan Moody in that outside center position with that speed and dynamism that he brings in that open channels is just so dangerous, so good. And he's still young and he just needs a bit more experience. And I think this center combination, Esterhuizen and Kanan Moody, is the future of the Springboks center. And another opportunity for them to work on that combination. And we'll see if they impress enough this weekend to get the nod to play Ireland. That's the big one that everybody wants to see them performing at in the big stage. Grant Williams, the other halfback option, gets at winger position. He's also extremely fast. He already showed last week against Scotland where he made like a 70-meter run break. He just completely carved up the Scottish, forward, just went straight through the Scottish 4-pack and ran like 80 meters, 70 meters. And it was just super impressive, showing that speed, showing that, versatility that brings to the team, showing his value. That's why he's getting a lot of the opportunity to start for the team as well. Not start for the team, to coming off the bench for the Springboks as well. He's just that good as a player. Vili Leroux gets number 15 jersey. Obviously, with Damian Willemse at 10, his playmaking is a little bit lacking. Vili Leroux will be doing a lot of the playmaking on behalf of Damian Willemse. They actually work really well as a combination, as a 10 and 15 combination, because Vili Leroux likes to move up and do make the plays, and Damian Willemse plays more like a 15 anyway, and he likes to direct more of the kicking game out of the 10 channel. So it's much better having this combination as a 10 and 15 for the Springboks. With that being said, let's have a look at the reserves. Like I already mentioned, 16 Dion Fourie, he doubles up as a flanker, and I'm very, very certain he will come onto the field as a flanker, and then maybe take over as a hooker towards last maybe 10 minutes of the game, 10-15 minutes of the game if Bungi Bonabi can't handle the hit anymore. But I'm very certain that he'll come on as a flanker first for the Springboks, because that's the game plan they want to play. They want to have an extra forward on the bench. They want to have extra loose forward on the bench, not just forward, extra loose forward on the bench. And Dion Fourie will most likely, I want to see them. They will definitely try to execute that game plan, having Bungi Bonabi play the whole 80 minutes and see how he copes. Stephen Kitsop comes in number 17 jersey, the best loose set prop in the world right now. He's just so damn good. Every time I watch him play, it just puts a smile on my face. He's so technically sound, and his scrummaging is just next level. He can really get a good feel for his opposition and get underneath them quite spectacular fashion. Number 18, Trevor Anyakani comes in as the tight head proposition. He's one of the few guys who can play both tight head and loose head prop, and he will be coming off the bench as the tight head prop. I'm surprised they didn't put him as a loose head prop, because as a loose head prop for just to see how he fares with that. But anyway, he gets the tight head prop position once again, number 18. Number 19, Achi Snyman has been tremendously good for the Springboks. I think he will probably be the best option to replace Ibn Isbeth. He did replace Ibn Isbeth in the Scotland game, and he did exceptionally well as always. Just absolutely clinical performance in the lineouts, and just physical and exceptionally high work rate. He's just as good as Ibn Esbeth, and I think it's just a very fitting replacement for him. Coming in at number 20, Jasper Visa, one of the brutalizers for the Springboks. Just every time he carries the ball, it makes me smile. Just one of the hardest runners in the game right now. Number 21, Jaden Hendrickson gets another shot at the halfback position. He has been, some personal issues, has been left out of the squad. He hasn't had much game time. I think he has one game so far this season for the Springboks, but he was one of the very high prospects for the Springboks coming into this season for the Rugby World Cup. Faf de Klerk gets number 22 jersey. Will be interesting to see where they put him. He might come on as a fly half if the goal kicking isn't very good from Damien Willemse, because I don't see anyone else do the goal kicking in the starting team. So it'll most likely be Damien Willemse that does the goal kicking, right? Maybe Kenan Moody will do the goal kicking. I'm not sure who's gonna do the goal kicker, but Damien Willemse will probably be the goal kicker, and then they're gonna bring on Faf de Klerk to take over in the second half as a goal kicker, and finally finish off the squad. Number 23, Jesse Krill in the outside center position, also doubles up as an extra winger potentially as well, depends what the team needs. And really interesting selections. I mean, it's Romania. It's gonna be a one-sided affair for the Springboks, but really just to see how they're gonna where they're gonna put Faf de Klerk, who's gonna do the goal kicking, and how long De Jong Fury will be on the field as a flanker this weekend. And that is a big test. The big test this weekend is whether or not Bungi Bonabi can handle 80 minutes of rugby with De Jong Fury coming on as a flanker. If he can, they can actually bring on Andre Pollard to replace Malcolm Marx and solve that goal kicking issue that the Springboks have been having in recent times. And yes, that's interesting to see. And also, if they do bring back Andre Pollard, where's Manny Lebok going to go? Manny Lebok has been a tremendous playmaker. He might not be the best goal kicker, but he's a very good playmaker. Where's he going to go? I think the ideal situation for the Springboks is somehow having Faf de Klerk really polish up his goal kicking and get that 80% kicking percentage, because Faf de Klerk is quite good at goal kicker, but he just he hasn't really kicked that much, so he's a bit on and off at the moment. If they can get Faf de Klerk to just be good as a goal kicker, and then you just have Faf de Klerk start as a goal kicker from the number 9, and just basically not keep man in the block at 10, I think that'll be the best option for the Springboks. But then again, you need someone to come off the bench when Faf de Klerk goes off. But yeah, it is a bit of a conundrum for the Springboks how they want to handle that. But yeah, it is, the door is open. The door is open. All the speculations, all the conspiracy theories is about to come true that Andre Pollard, I think, is probably on the verge of being recalled to the Springbok team. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks to everybody who supports me with donations and Patreon and everything. I really do appreciate it. It is tough times, and your money really, really do appreciate. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys this weekend for the reviews, and have a good week. And see you guys soon. Cheers.